Hi guys, welcome back to J2EE tutorial. This is the 40th video tutorial of J2EE. So the previous discussion we have types of page JSP directives we have, and now we are going to discuss about JSP action tags. So these JSP action tags actually comes with the JSP technology. So these particular action tags actually used for controlling the flow between the pages and the Java beans if you want to use it, and you can use it. So let's see what are all different types of action tags we have. It's like suppose if you have one JSP and if you want to let's take there are two individual JSPs, and there is a one JSP, and if you want to forward the request from one JSP to other JSP, then you have one action tag available for that, for forwarding. Forward one JSP to other JSP. Suppose let's assume these JSP1 and these JSP2. So to forward from one JSP to other JSP the request and response, there is a one action tag is available. Suppose if you want to inject any other JSP within your JSP file, suppose these JSP3 which actually contains some kind of logic, and if you want to inject this particular JSP3 into your JSP, there is a certain include related action tags are available. Suppose if you have any Java bean, any Java class, then you can use the use bean action tags. So there are different types of these action tags are available. Let's see what on the list we have. Let me clear out this. Let me move aside. So the first one will be JSP forward. Forward actually used for forwarding one JSP to other JSP. The other one will be JSP include. As I mentioned, if you want to include any JSP within other JSP, then you can use include. And the third one will be JSP use bean. Suppose if you want to use any Java Poser class, then you can use this use bean. And the other one will be JSP param. So this particular JSP param will be used within a forward or include. Suppose if you want to bypass, suppose if the request is forwarding from one JSP to other JSP, if you want to pass some additional information other than the request and response, that way you can use JSP param. So these are all, and we have other action tags like JSP set property and JSP get property. These two are actually used for within use bean action tag. The reason is like if you want to have access any setter methods, you can use set property. If you want to use any getter method within the use bean, you can use it. So let me go and create a plain Java bean so that you can understand what is a Java bean, and so you get a better picture. So I'm just creating a class which is employee, and within this I'll be having properties like private. So to maintain the encapsulation, I'm just doing this. So private int id and private string name. So I just have these two variables. One is id and name. So let me generate setter getters. So if you want to generate any setter and getters within a Pojo, then you just need to right click on Eclipse and you can choose source and generate setter getters. So if you choose all the elements and generate, that's it. You will be getting all the setter and getter information. So these called a typical Java bean. So this bean actually contains set of properties which should be the private. So if you want to set any value, then you have to use the setter method, set ID and set name. And if you want to access those elements, then you have to use get ID and get name. So this is how the Java bean looks like. And for accessing this bean and to set any values for this bean, we'll be using the use bean directive, the action tag. So in use bean, you have to give respect to class along with the package. And if you want to set any property, then you have to use set property. So set for calling the setter methods. And if you want to get any data like get name and all, you have to use the get property. So let's see the JSP forward and include first. So later we can go to the use bean. So let's go to my JSP. Suppose this is my JSP. And suppose if I want to, let me go to the bottom. As I mentioned, if I want to forward any request from one JSP to other JSP, then you can directly put JSP. Then if you put colon, they will be getting auto-populated things like all types of the JSP action tags will be listed over here. You can use whatever you want. So let me use the forward, and the page you have to mention. I'm just mentioning second.jsp, second.jsp. You can use it. So if you just include this line, then what will happen is whenever you call this page, then this will actually performs all the operations. At the end, it actually goes to the second.jsp. So these are you can able to use the JSP forward. And if you want to bypass some data to the second.jsp, you can use JSP param, which we declared over here. We have to use JSP param if you want to bypass any information to the, see, you get auto-populated JSP param. The name you can give it and value you can give it. So I'm just giving the name as database. So I'm just giving my value will be MySQL. So these are you can able to bypass the information using the forward page action. And the same way, suppose if you want to include any other JSP within this particular JSP, then you can use JSP include. The page will be, suppose if you want to include the JSP like hello.jsp, then you can import it hello.jsp. And these are the action, the forward and include action tags will works like. And let's see how we can use the other one, which is the Java use bean. So as we already have the employee bean available, so I'm trying to target that particular bean within my JSP use bean. Then ID will be what is the ID you want to refer within this JSP. So let me give obj, and the name I will be giving the class equal to the class name, which is employee, which is in Flipkart dot employee. So these are you can declare your use bean. So that's about use bean. And if you want to set any property or if you want to get any property, then you can use these action tags, which is set property and get properties. So that's about the JSP action tags. So the next one will be JSTL. So JSTL is kind of advanced technology which is actually used in JSPs, which actually avoids lots of code, like however we are writing here, like a lot of HTML code and a lot of scriptlets and all we are writing. So with the JSTL technology, let me take a new page. So JSTL. With this, you can able to achieve a better coding within the JSP. Suppose you as a scene like we have HTML and the Java code mixed over here. If you want to avoid this kind of code within this JSP, you can use the JSTL. So with the JSTL, you can able to perform only the HTML tag kind of Java code you can put it. Suppose if you want to use if condition. So what we are doing, we are actually putting a scriptet, and over there we are actually writing our Java code and all. So if you are using a JSTL way, then you have to use JSTL prefix, and you have to use if then test you will be giving. So what are the condition you will be giving? That condition. So value is greater than 10. So what are the value you're giving? That you can give it here, and here you will put JSTL if. So the end of JSTL. So writing a if condition, we know how to write a if condition. Suppose the same thing, if you want to do it in Java way, then you have to put a scriptet over here. Then you have to put if of 10, and what are the code you want, that you're going to put it over here. The same way, if you want to do something, if you want to print some HTML, then you can put it over here. So it's similar to the code, but it is actually avoid these scriptlets and this kind of code, but it is actually a new language which is having the JSTL, which performs all kind of operations. Not only if condition, you can have a lot of conditions like the looping, the for loops you can have, and if you want to handle any exceptions, you can able to handle it. And if you want to print any output, then you don't need to write this kind of scriptet, and you don't need to write out.println and all. You just need to put JSTL out, and the value, if you just give it, then it will actually print that value. So these topics we're going to cover it in the advanced topics of JSPs. So far we covered very important topics in J2EE. It's about 40 videos we have, like the servlets. Starting from the servlets, we covered a lot of concepts like sessions and cookies, and the basic introduction to JSPs, and different types of JSP pages we have written, and we have seen the scripted element in JSPs and implicit objects, directive elements and action items and all. So this is about end of the J2EE tutorial. So if you have time, then we can cover the advanced topics of JSPs, which is the JSTL. So thanks guys, thanks for watching.